Okay, and going on with our exam review, section 10.4, the theorem I was using on this, I looked at the your cheat sheet for your exam. It's theorem 1010, the relationship between those inscribed angles and their arc measures. And what it is if we take half of this measure of the arc, it's going to get us back to the angle. So 84 divided by 2 is going to be 42 for the measure of angle A. That one was pretty simple. We get some more complicated ones going on here. What I noticed in this problem is I need to find out what this measure of angle G is, but I don't know the arc. So I can do 360 minus, all the way around the circle is 360. If I do 360 minus the 120 minus the 70 that I have, that tells me that this arc between D and F is 170. And if I divide that in half, that's going to bring me back to what this angle measure is. 170 divided by 2 is 85. When I look at number 5, I need to find angle N here. The arc that's opening up to it has to be 20 degrees. Looking at that, this is a semicircle. This diameter, I've got 160 here. That's got to be 20. When I take 20 divided by 2 to get back to angle N, I get 10. Number 6, the measure of the arc. I'm going from the inscribed angle to the arc. I've got to double it. Go into my calculator. 67 times 2 is 134 degrees. Let's see, going from the angle to the arc again, I've got to double it. Oh, they want the measure of VU. Okay, so TV is going to be 60. VU would be the rest of this semicircle. That would be 120. Careful with that one. I almost wanted to answer it as 60, but it's this arc, not the one that I was able to find by doubling the angle. The measure of W to X. Okay, so over here is what I've got to find. Coming out this way, 75 times 2 is going to put me at 150. Now I have to do 360 minus these two pieces to see what's left for that WX side. 360 minus 150 minus 110 is going to tell me that that last arc over here is 100 degrees. Careful, you're getting what you're supposed to be. You're answering what's asked for, not just opening up and finding the angle like we might have stopped off on. Now with problems 13 through 16, these are some section 10.4 formulas, theorems that tell us that the angles opposite each other are supplements. So in 13, X is going to be equal to 180 minus 80. It's going to be 100 degrees. Across from each other are supplements. Y is going to be 180 minus 95 degrees. That's going to leave me with 85 degrees for that one. Y is 85. Same idea for 14. M is going to be equal to 180 minus 60. M is going to be 120 degrees. And then what I know about 2 times K in number 14, 2K is going to be equal to 180 minus 60 as well. 2K is then going to be equal to that 120. K must be 60. 2 times K, 2 times 60 is 120. That makes sense. So, well, K is 60. That makes this angle 120 as well. Oh, that's a isosceles trapezoid. All right, now looking at 15, they're using a couple things in 15. I need to figure out what the A and B is here. I know there's that whole relationship about supplements across from each other, but what I notice more than anything is this, I think, has to do with the arc measures on the outside. The only arc measure that isn't here for me is between J and K. So if I focus on the outside of the circle, 360 minus 130 minus 110, I find out that this missing arc right here is 66. Now, why is that important? Well, this 3A opens up to the 54 plus 66.